Hey y'all, Robin Nicole here. It is day 14 of my vegan diet. I'm done with my second week. And so I did go to the fair today, and I will get to that in a minute. But let's say it went very well. So this morning I got up. So I had ate out last night, right, and had a couple things that may have had just like a little bit of butter in them. Or milk in them, just a little bit of dairy, and I woke up and my face was so red and oily, but also it was my skin was oily but also flaky at the same time. But I definitely immediately noticed a difference in my complexion this morning when I got up. And that's crazy how after eliminating something from your diet, eating just a very minuscule amount can have such profound effects on your body. So that happened this morning. I wasn't feeling super hungry this morning, and so I just snacked on a few grapes, and then so I went to the fair, and my thought was, okay, it's a Sunday morning, I can go to an early church service and then get down to the fair super early. Not a lot of people will be there because not this past summer, but the summer before that, I worked at Riverbank Zoo and Gardens in Columbia, and Sunday mornings were always very slow there. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But then I got down to the fairgrounds and there was nobody there, which it turns out the fair does not open until noon on Sundays. So since I hadn't had much for breakfast, I went ahead and went back to Good Life Cafe, which I did not mind going for there for breakfast, brunch, whatever. I ordered off their brunch menu. So it is free parking in Columbia downtown on the weekends and after 6 p.m. on weekdays. I don't know why they do that for the busier times. Most places I feel up their charges during those times, but for some reason Columbia does free parking during those times. So I did not mind going there at all because it's a Sunday morning, so I didn't really have to fight anyone for parking. It was very easy to find parking, and also it was free parking. So I went there, and I got a, tofu burrito scramble, a scrambled tofu burrito, and it was very good. And then I had a side of fresh fruit and potatoes. And then so I ate that, and then I decided to go down to the Columbia River walk. So Columbia has these just gorgeous trails all along its rivers. So I went down to one of them, and I was planning on just walking around for a half hour or so and then heading back over to the fairgrounds. But as I was walking, I remembered that they have this outdoor gym space type thing. I don't really know how to explain it, but instead of going for a walk, I ended up using their outdoor gym. So it has kind of a rowing machine, an elliptical, and then just some pull-up bars and some kind of weightlifting equipment type stuff. So I worked out there for about a half hour, and then when I finished that, it was so gross, because it's outside, but also it's not a normal gym where they have sanitizing stuff to clean the equipment when you're done, so it really doesn't get clean. It gets washed when it rains, but it never really gets sanitized, and it's outside, so it's super dirty. Literally, when I finished, my hands were black. When you pet a farm animal that hasn't been groomed in a while, and your hands just black, that's how my hands were. So I went and used the restroom there and washed my hands, and then I headed over to the state fair, and got great parking because I got there like a half hour before. Well, actually, no. I got there like 45 minutes before gates were supposed to open. So online it said that they open at noon. So I got in line, and the lines were already pretty long by the time I got there, but nothing too terrible. But I got in line and was there for like 15 minutes, and then they opened the gates early at 11:30 a.m., which was awesome. And I got the wristband so you can get the unlimited rides. It was a bit pricey. It was $35, but I calculated it out, and for all the like rides and attractions I went on, if I had paid for them individually, I easily would have paid $80. So I got great use out of that. Went on a couple different roller coasters, went through some fun houses, some Ferris wheels. This thing, it's not really like my favorite ride. One of my favorite like amusement rides growing up was like those frog hoppers, and this was kind of like that, but not like it just took you up and then it like made you sit there forever like in anticipation, and then it just dropped you. It didn't do like the up and down thing. It was just one drop and that was it. I went on that. They had I don't even know how to describe them, but they had these two rides that were. They had a lot of rides that were the exact same thing. They just had different names. But they had these two rides. So one was Starship like 3000, and the other one was Starship Area 51. But basically, like, you went inside of this this dome type thing, and you walk in, and there's just like these mats against the wall, and you just like stand against the mat, and all it really does is like it spins in a circle, but it starts going really fast, and then like the walls move up a little bit, so you like go up with the wall, and it makes you feel like you're upside down even though you're not. It was super trippy, but that was cool. And then they had one that was called the Matterhorn, and another one that was called the Himalayan, that were both the exact same thing. That were like these carts, and you just like go around in a circle, and they kind of go like up and down, but it went really fast. It was way faster than either of their roller coasters were. And then they had like 3 Ferris wheels, and then they had this really cool ride called Niagara Falls, and I went on that one. I mean, if you've ever been to like Disney parks, it's like a mini Splash Mountain, except for you get splashed twice, which is why it's Niagara Falls. But yeah, so I went on that. That's enough. Sit down. So I went on that, and then hold on. Okay, I think he'll be quiet for a while. I have some kibble in his little scooper here, so I'm just throwing it on the floor and letting him get the pieces to keep him quiet. But anyway, so I had gone on a bunch of the rides, and then it started to get quite hot outside. It was up into the 80s, and so I decided to go on the Niagara Falls, and I got in line, and there was like something wrong with the ride when I got in line, but I was like, it'll probably be a quick fix, it's fine. And it wasn't too bad. I was probably in line for like 20-25 minutes, nothing too terribly long. But yeah, so I went on Niagara Falls, and it didn't splash you like too bad. You didn't get like totally soaked. Like it got you pretty wet, but you weren't like totally soaked or anything. But it was enough that I'm wearing shorts today, and it was enough to cause like a lot of chafing in that kind of heat, thick thigh problems. So that was kind of the end of the rides for me. So I was walking around, but then I was like chafing really bad, and so then I went over to like the farmhouse area of the fair, and went to go look at the animals and stuff. And I thought there was supposed to be some kind of like petting zoo there, but I didn't see anything like that. But I walked through, I accidentally stepped in some cow manure. And then I was thinking about like maybe getting something to eat. It was probably around like 1:30, 2 o'clock by this point. And so yeah, so I was thinking about getting something to eat, but I don't know, nothing really sounded good. I mean, everything is so just like greasy and fried, and there just aren't a lot of vegan options. I mean, there's like French fries and you know, other like potato like chips and salsa. There was one place that it was like a Greek stand, and they did have a Greek salad that you could get without the meat, and I could have probably asked for it without the feta, but it didn't sound that good to me. So I ended up not getting anything, and I know that yesterday I talked about like really wanting deep fried Oreos, but like, so as I was kind of like leaving the farm area, they have like the dairy cows and like the machines that they milk them with and stuff, and like those cows just look so sad, and after that I literally completely lost my appetite. Like nothing sounded good. I felt nauseous. It was like sick, and I just like wanted to go home. Like my legs were chafing. Like all the food smells were just making me sick. Everything is so greasy. But I was also like really hot, and I knew I was starting to get dehydrated. So I was walking around trying to find like the cheapest drink option, and I was just gonna get like a lemonade, but it is actually cheaper to get an icy than a lemonade, and the refills were cheaper as well. So I went ahead and got an icy, and then I just like refilled it with water at the bathrooms throughout the day. And then it was really getting hot outside. Like I said, it was already up into the 80s. So I went ahead and started looking at like the indoor exhibits and stuff, like the art exhibits and all the places where they're trying to sell you stuff you don't really need and all that good stuff. And then I was like thinking about leaving, and then I ran into like employer, volunteer, whatever, who was handing out maps of the fair. And I have never been to the South Carolina State Fair before. Like I said, I'm originally from Washington State. I believe I've mentioned this before. So this was my first time going to the South Carolina State Fair. I've been to the Washington State Fair before, but this is my first time going to the South Carolina State Fair. But yeah, so someone handed me a map, and then I was looking at it, and I realized there's like this whole section that I had missed, which is crazy because it's a really small fair compared to what I'm used to. And so I was surprised that I had missed anything, especially because I had gone up on like one of the Ferris wheels, and I had gone across like the gondola and stuff to kind of like see where stuff was. But they had this really cool like dinosaur exhibit. So they had these like sand sculptors that were sculpting these like really cool dinosaurs, and then outside behind that building they actually had like animatronic dinosaurs, and they had baby animatronic dinosaurs. They had like the full big ones, and then they also had the cutest little babies. So then at that point I was like, okay, like I've seen everything, and I was walking back towards the gate, and then I heard some like really good music. So I was like, oh, like that sounds good. I'm gonna go over there and listen to it for a while. So I listened to that band, and then I ended up paying a few dollars to get a refill on my icy, because the city tap water is not the greatest tasting. I don't know about you guys, but I grew up on well water, and different types of water taste very different to me, and I don't like the taste of city water. So yeah, so I went and got another icy, and then I was like thinking about leaving again, and then I was like, I don't know, like maybe I should go around to all the stands and see what's going on, because maybe there's like something I missed. So I was walking around, and there's some stuff like later in the day that sounded kind of good. So I decided to go back across to the other side of the park. I took the gondola because I didn't want to walk, because like I said, I was chafing really bad at this point. And so I went on a couple rides that I had not gone on in the morning. And the reason I hadn't gone on those rides was because like they were the rides where it's like the exact same ride as something else I had already been on. It just had a different name. So that's why I hadn't gone on them already. But yeah, so went on a couple more rides, and then went back across the park I caught a comedy show, and then after that I caught a magic show, and then after that I did like a couple more walkthroughs, like back and forth through the fair to make sure that I hadn't like missed anything, and everything seemed good, but I was getting really hungry. It was, so like I said, I got there at like 11:15 this morning, and I left at about a little bit after 6:45 p.m. So I mean, I got like a full day out of the fair, and I did it while staying vegan. I ended up not eating any of the fair food, mostly just because like just the smell of it was making me so sick, just all that fried greasy food. So obviously I am home now. I just got back home, and I am going to make a dinner. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to make yet. I think I may just reheat that soup, the remainder of that soup from the other day, and make another sandwich, or maybe those vegan burgers that I was like saving for when we had the barbecue at work, or the cookout at work. I didn't even think about the fact that I worked that day, but it was Friday when I did my overnight shift, so I wasn't even there when they did the barbecue. So maybe I'll have those tonight, or maybe I'll make my vegan mac and cheese and vegan chicken nuggets, but that seems too greasy too. I don't want something real greasy. Ooh, maybe I'll just have a salad. Salad sounds nice. Or just some stir-fried veggies. But yeah, anyways, so I wanted to let you guys know that I stayed vegan at the state fair. The only like food item that I purchased was an icy and an icy refill, which is also good because it like saved me a lot of money. Because some of the stands, like, they were trying to sell deep fried Oreos, and it was like $6, and I was like, that better be a lot of Oreos for $6. Like, I know it's fair prices, but that still seems really high. No, it was like, you got 4 Oreos for $6. That's ridiculous. Do you know how much cheaper it would be to just make them at home? And I can make them vegan at home. So, what a ripoff. That's kind of why I didn't want like that Greek salad too. Like, not only did it not sound good, but they wanted like $9 for a salad, and I'm pretty sure it was just like a side salad size. So I was not going to pay that much, especially because I had already paid a lot. So it actually, parking and entrance really wasn't that bad. It was $5 for parking, like in the fairground parking. It was funny to me because some of the areas around, some of the restaurants and businesses and people who live nearby who were trying to sell spots on their property were charging like $10, and I thought it was interesting that they were charging more than the fairground was. But yeah, it was $5 for parking, and then admission was only $10. And then, of course, I did go ahead and splurge and paid the $35 for the unlimited, like, attractions, rides, and whatnot. But, like I said, I saved a lot of money doing that, because if I had purchased individual tickets for all the different rides and attractions that I went on while I was there, I easily would have paid $80+. So that was very worthwhile to me. I don't know that I would go back to the South Carolina State Fair again. It definitely was not as big or as good as what I'm used to with the Washington State Fair. But I don't know, maybe. I mean, some of the rides were good. Like, I really liked both of the roller coasters, and like the Starship and the Niagara Falls and stuff. But fair rides, carnival rides are not really like made for adults, and like I have pretty wide hips, so some of the rides were like very uncomfortable, and also like my back hurts from being like jerked around on some of them, and like the food just wasn't appealing to me at all. Some of the exhibits were cool. I mean, like, I might go back like specifically for a concert or something if there's someone I really want to see, but you know, it's not that I didn't have a good time at the state fair. I did, but I I don't think I would go back to the South Carolina State Fair. I mean, maybe over the years, if it progresses and gets bigger and better, maybe I will, but I don't know. It wasn't as, like, fun and exciting as I thought it would be. And granted, also, like, I did go by myself, but it is kind of nice going to a fair by yourself because there's no one else dictating, like, what they want to do and what they want to see. Like, you can go through and do everything you want to do and see everything you want to see. And, like, you know, there's just the freedom to go where you want, when you want to. And, yeah, and you don't have to worry about getting, like, separated from other people in your group. I'm very glad that I left when I did because it was pretty much by, like, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was ridiculously crowded. Obviously, like, people were getting out of church and they had finished their meals after church, but also Columbia had a cancer walk/run this morning, and people who participated in that, if they came wearing their t-shirts, they got free admission into the fair, so a lot of people were taking advantage of that. So just getting very crowded, and I know I probably could have stayed, and I know people say that, like, the fair is different at night, and I'm sure it is, but I was just so tired, and like I said, my back hurts, chafing, like, just the smell of the fair food and stuff was making me real nauseated, and I haven't ate anything since, like, 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. So that was my day. I'm gonna go ahead and make dinner now. I will talk to you all again tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, and then hit the bell to adjust your notifications to make sure you get notified every time I upload a new video. And please leave me some comments. I love to hear your feedback, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.